Right now, you're probably throwing away items that could save your life in a crisis. Items that desperate people would trade food for. While preppers spend thousands on gear, the real survival essentials are sitting in your trash can, worth pennies today but potentially priceless tomorrow. In this video, I'm revealing 12 dirt cheap household items you already own that could become more valuable than gold in a total collapse. These aren't expensive gadgets or specialty gear, they're everyday items hiding in plain sight with survival uses you've never considered. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to stockpile now while it's still cheap, and how to use these items when everything else fails. Welcome to Crisis Horizon, where we cut through the hype and show you real, practical survival knowledge. If you want to be truly prepared without breaking the bank, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss our life-saving content. Now let's dive into these survival essentials that most people are literally throwing away. Let's start with something you toss in the recycling bin every single week without a second thought. Glass jars. Every time you finish that pasta sauce, those pickles, or that jam, you're discarding what could become one of your most valuable survival assets. In a crisis, these jars transform into indispensable tools. They're clean, airtight, and endlessly reusable, perfect for storing water, grains, seeds, spices, and homemade remedies. Here's what most people don't realize. Unlike plastic, which degrades and can leach chemicals over time, glass remains safe and stable, making it ideal for long-term storage. But don't just take my word for it. During Venezuela's economic collapse, empty glass bottles literally became a form of currency. People traded them for food, medicine, and other essentials. The demand for clean containers skyrocketed because everyone suddenly understood their true importance. FEMA emphasizes the critical need for enough containers to store drinking water, and studies show that nearly 60% of U.S. households lack the capacity to store even 3 days' worth of water. Think about that for a moment. 3 days. Most families couldn't survive a long weekend without municipal water service. Glass jars solve this problem, and they do so much more. Use them as seed vaults to preserve seeds for future planting. Store homemade tinctures, salves, and DIY medicines. Even broken jars can be repurposed for small tools or emergency supplies. Start saving glass jars now. In a world where clean storage becomes a luxury, these jars could literally be worth their weight in gold. Now let's talk about something even more surprising. Dead lead-acid batteries. You know, those old car batteries sitting in your garage that you've been meaning to dispose of? Don't. In a survival scenario, these batteries contain resources that become incredibly valuable, specifically lead plates and sulfuric acid. The lead can be melted down to create tools, weights, or components for simple electronics. The acid, when properly neutralized, can be repurposed for purifying metals or even preserving food. Here's the kicker. Over 99% of lead-acid batteries are already recycled in normal times, with nearly 100% of the acid and lead recovered. That tells you something about their inherent value. In a collapse, these components become hot commodities for bartering or crafting. You can even use the battery casings to store small tools or supplies. Now, I need to be clear here. Smelting lead is dangerous and should only be done with proper safety precautions and ventilation. But the point is this. What most people see as hazardous waste, the prepared person sees as a resource bank. Store these batteries safely, away from living spaces, and you'll have trading material and raw resources when others have nothing. Moving on to something you definitely have in your kitchen right now, aluminum foil. This isn't just for wrapping leftovers anymore. In a collapse scenario, aluminum foil becomes a portable kitchen, an insulation system, a signaling device, and even protection against electromagnetic pulses. Let me break this down. First, cooking. You can wrap food and cook it directly over an open flame. Create makeshift pots, pans, or baking trays. When modern appliances fail, aluminum foil gives you cooking options. Second, insulation. Line your clothing or sleeping bags with foil to reflect body heat back towards your body. This simple trick can prevent hypothermia when heating isn't available. Third, signaling. The reflective surface makes foil highly visible to rescue aircraft or search parties. Create signal mirrors or hang strips in trees to attract attention when you need help. But here's something most people don't know. Aluminum foil can protect small electronics from electromagnetic pulses. Wrap devices in multiple layers of foil to shield them from EMPs, potentially saving critical communication tools when everyone else's devices are fried. And finally, maintenance. Crumple foil into a ball and use it to scrub pots, pans, or rusted tools. It's lightweight, compact, and endlessly reusable. Stock up on aluminum foil now. At a couple dollars per roll, it's one of the cheapest insurance policies you can buy. Let's talk about coffee filters. Yes, those paper circles you use once and throw away. In a survival situation, these become multi-purpose tools that solve a surprising number of problems. Start with water filtration. Coffee filters excel at pre-filtering water, removing dirt and debris before you boil or treat it with purification tablets. This simple step extends the life of your primary water filter significantly. And when replacement filters are impossible to find, that matters. Use coffee filters to wrap and protect fruits, vegetables, or other perishables. Separate layers in storage containers to prevent items from sticking together and extend shelf life.
When you can't wash dishes, use them as makeshift plates, bowls, or napkins. They're also highly flammable, which makes them reliable tinder for starting fires. Pack them with dryer lint or sawdust for even better results. In a medical emergency, coffee filters serve as bandage covers to keep wounds clean or as makeshift dust masks against airborne particles. They're also perfect for organizing small items. Sort and store seeds, screws, fishing hooks, whatever you need. They're lightweight, compact, and easy to label. A single pack provides hundreds of multi-purpose tools for just a few dollars. That's the kind of value that makes sense for any prepper stash. Now we're moving into the fabric and cordage category, and I want to start with something you probably have dozens of: old cotton t-shirts. That faded shirt you're about to throw out could be a lifesaver. FEMA actually recommends using a cotton t-shirt as a makeshift dust mask when medical-grade filters aren't available. In a disaster with toxic air or dust storms, that simple shirt could become more valuable than a high-tech respirator. But t-shirts do so much more. Use them as wound dressings when medical-grade gauze is unavailable. Tear them into strips to create makeshift rope for tying down supplies. Layer them for insulation and warmth. Use them as pre-filters for water, removing larger debris before treatment. Even use them as fire-starting tinder when they're completely worn out. Here's a statistic that should worry you. In a recent prepping survey, over 60% of households reported shortages of basic first aid supplies, but clean cloth remained widely available. Cotton is lightweight, easy to store, and endlessly reusable. In a world where hospitals are overwhelmed and sterile supplies are scarce, your old t-shirt collection could be your only barrier against infection. Don't toss those old shirts. Wash them, fold them, and stash them. They're no longer just clothing, they're survival tools. Cotton, rope, and twine deserve their own discussion because they're absolutely essential for survival. This is cordage you need for building shelters, tying down supplies, hanging food out of reach of animals, creating traps, drying clothes, and making emergency stretchers. In professional survival training, rope is consistently listed as one of the core 5 tools for wilderness preparedness. Why cotton specifically? Unlike synthetic ropes, cotton is soft on the hands, biodegradable, and easy to work with. You can even use it as tinder for fire starting when it's dry and frayed. Smart preppers vacuum seal cotton twine to keep it dry and compact, or weave it into belts and bracelets as wearable survival tools. You're literally wearing your emergency cordage. A FEMA study found that over 60% of American households lack basic tools for shelter building or gear fastening. Without rope, most people are one broken tent pole away from real trouble. In a collapse, rope will be bartered, hoarded, and fought over because everyone will suddenly realize what you already know. You can't build, secure, or repair anything without it. Stock up on cotton, rope, and twine now. Buy it in bulk. Learn basic knots. This is fundamental survival infrastructure. Let's get small for a moment and talk about safety pins and paper clips. These tiny tools punch way above their weight class in a survival scenario. Safety pins are perfect for patching up clothing, securing tarps, repairing gear. And they can even act as emergency fish hooks or medical tools for splinter removal. Paper clips, they're just as versatile. Pick locks, repair zippers, create makeshift antennas, trigger traps. The list goes on. Here's the problem. A recent prepping survey found that 61% of households lack proper repair kits or sewing supplies. When your gear fails, and it will fail, you need quick fixes. A simple box of safety pins and paper clips becomes your survival multi-tool, solving problems and improvising solutions when replacements are impossible to find. These items are so cheap that there's literally no excuse not to have hundreds of them stockpiled. Throw them in your bug-out bag, your car kit, your home supplies, anywhere you might need a quick fix. Binder clips and rubber bands fall into the same category of tiny titans. Binder clips transform into micro clamps for holding together torn tarps, sealing bags, patching tents, and bundling gear. They're lightweight, durable, and endlessly reusable. Rubber bands serve as emergency money clips, fishing lures, jar grippers, makeshift slings, and yes, even fire starters. Wait, fire starters? Absolutely. Thick rubber bands can burn for nearly 2 minutes, providing enough heat to ignite damp tinder. They're also useful for organizing gear, bundling items, securing loose objects, and in first aid situations, they can act as emergency tourniquets. The utility these items provide in a survival situation is absolutely massive compared to their size and cost. Buy them in bulk, sort them, store them. You'll be glad you did. Now we're moving into the cleaning and hygiene category, and this is where people often underestimate the importance of these items. Let's start with bar soap. In a crisis, bar soap becomes your first line of defense against disease. The CDC reports that millions of people die annually from preventable hygiene-related diseases. When systems break down, when there's limited clean water and hospitals are overwhelmed, staying clean isn't about comfort, it's about survival. Bar soap lets you wash your hands to prevent the spread of illness, clean wounds to prevent infection, sanitize tools and gear, wash clothes without electricity. During Venezuela's economic collapse, soap was literally traded for food and medicine. It became currency because everyone needed it and supplies were limited. Plain, unscented bars are best because they're less likely to irritate skin and they're more versatile for different uses.
Bar soap is lightweight, portable, and has a remarkably long shelf life if stored properly. You can stockpile dozens of bars for just a few dollars, and each bar lasts through any uses. When everyone else is struggling with hygiene and disease, you'll have the one thing that keeps you and your family healthy. Don't overlook this. Hygiene might sound boring, but it kills more people in disasters than almost anything else. Baking soda is next, and this $1 box might be the best value in all of prepping. Baking soda is a natural deodorizer and non-toxic cleaner, making it invaluable when soap and cleaning supplies are hard to come by. Scrub surfaces, dishes, and even your body. It helps prevent the spread of disease when chemical cleaners are unavailable. But it goes further. The CDC recommends baking soda for neutralizing acidic chemical burns and emergency first aid situations. It can also work as a fire extinguisher for small fires. When heated, it releases carbon dioxide that smothers flames. Use it as toothpaste to maintain dental hygiene, as an antacid for stomach problems, even as dry shampoo when water is scarce. This versatility from a single box that costs less than $1 makes baking soda essential. Its value skyrockets when resources are scarce. Stock up now while it's cheap. In a post-collapse world, baking soda is absolutely a survival essential. White vinegar deserves the same respect. This is a powerful cleaning agent, disinfectant, food preserver, and pest repellent all in one bottle. It dissolves grime, removes rust, polishes metal, and sanitizes surfaces without any harmful chemicals. The acidity kills bacteria, making it essential for pickling vegetables and extending the shelf life of food when refrigeration isn't an option. Spray vinegar to repel ants, fruit flies, and mold, crucial capabilities when traditional pest control methods are unavailable. Preppers actually trade vinegar as currency because of its versatility and indefinite shelf life. If stored properly, tightly sealed and away from light or heat, vinegar lasts forever and maintains its effectiveness. For just a few dollars, you can buy gallons of this survival liquid. When cleaning supplies disappear from store shelves, when food spoils without refrigeration, when pests invade your space, vinegar solves all these problems. Stock up. Finally, we need to talk about duct tape, and honestly, this might be the most important item on this entire list. Duct tape can fix almost anything. Torn tarps, broken gear, leaky bottles, damaged clothing. Its strong adhesive and durable backing make it ideal for patching holes, sealing cracks, and reinforcing weak points. But that's just the beginning. Use duct tape to secure branches, tarps, or plastic sheeting to create emergency shelters. Reinforce fabric or rope when making stretchers. In first aid, secure bandages, create splints, or immobilize broken limbs. Its waterproof properties protect wounds from dirt and moisture. For personal safety, create makeshift restraints, secure doors and windows, or fashion improvised weapons. The versatility and strength make it invaluable for protection. You can even use duct tape for fire starting. Twist it into a rope and light one end for a slow-burning fire starter that works in wet or windy conditions. Use it as toothpaste to maintain dental hygiene, as an antacid for stomach problems, even as dry shampoo when water is scarce. This versatility from a single box that costs less than $1 makes baking soda essential. Its value skyrockets when resources are scarce. Stock up now while it's cheap. In a post-collapse world, baking soda is absolutely a survival essential. So there you have it, these 12 items: glass jars, cotton t-shirts, baking soda, safety pins, paper clips, bar soap, cotton rope, binder clips, rubber bands, white vinegar, dead lead-acid batteries, aluminum foil, coffee filters, and duct tape aren't just household staples. They're potential lifelines, offering a wide array of uses that can help you stay safe, healthy, and resourceful when everything falls apart. The key to real preparedness isn't stockpiling expensive gear. It's recognizing the hidden value in everyday items and learning how to use them creatively. Start collecting and organizing these essentials today while they're still dirt cheap. In a world where clean water, shelter, and basic hygiene become rare luxuries, these items could genuinely be worth more than gold. If this video opened your eyes to everyday survival tools you've been overlooking, smash that like button right now. Subscribe to Crisis Horizon for more practical preparedness knowledge that could save your life. And drop a comment telling us which item surprised you most. We read every single one, and we love hearing from you. Remember, in a crisis, the best survival tools might already be hiding in plain sight. Stay prepared, stay resourceful, and we'll see you in the next video.